Hey everyone, welcome to the Stuffology show, where we dive into the wildest corners of history and spin tales that make you go, huh, really? Today, we're tackling a topic that's half ancient myth, half sci-fi conspiracy. The Anunnaki, the supposed alien forefathers of humanity. Were they gods, extraterrestrials, or just a wild story from ancient Sumerians? We'll trace their origins, track their journey through time, and unpack their legacy in today's world. This is a big one, so buckle up. Oh, and if you're digging these deep dives, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. It keeps us bringing you these stories. Let's get rolling. We're kicking things off in ancient Mesopotamia, around 3000 BCE, in the fertile strip between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This is where the Sumerians built one of the world's first civilizations. Think bustling cities, early writing, and a serious talent for storytelling. Their clay tablets, etched with cuneiform, are packed with myths about gods who ran the show. Enter the Anunnaki, a crew of deities whose name roughly translates to those who came from heaven to earth. Pretty epic, right? In Sumerian lore, these guys were cosmic heavyweights, living in the sky and ruling the universe. One big tale, the Enuma Elish, has them creating the world by taking down a chaos monster named Tiamat. But their real blockbuster? A story where they supposedly whipped up humans to handle grunt work like mining and farming. To the Sumerians, the Anunnaki were the ultimate bosses, with names like Anu, the sky god, Enlil, who threw storms around, and Enki, the sly god of wisdom. These weren't just myths. They were baked into religious rituals and used by kings to flex their divine right to rule. Keep the peasants in line, you know? But here's the kicker. To the Sumerians, the Anunnaki were gods, not aliens in spaceships. The extraterrestrial twist? That's a modern remix. Let's zoom out a bit. The Sumerians weren't alone in their Anunnaki obsession. Their stories spread to later Mesopotamian cultures, like the Akkadians and Babylonians, who tweaked the myths but kept the Anunnaki as major players. In Babylonian tales, the god Marduk rises to the top, but the Anunnaki are still his divine council, making big decisions about fate and humanity. These myths were more than stories. They were a way to explain the world, from floods to harvests to why kings got to boss everyone around. The Anunnaki's role as creators and rulers gave ancient people a sense of order in a chaotic world. But as Mesopotamia's empires faded, the Anunnaki's stories got buried under the sand, waiting for archaeologists to dig them up thousands of years later. And when they did, the myths took on a whole new life. One that would make them stars of a very different kind of tale. Fast forward to the 19th century, when European archaeologists started unearthing Sumerian cities like Ur and Nineveh. Those clay tablets hit the academic world like a thunderbolt, revealing a civilization older than Egypt or Greece. Scholars decoded cuneiform and found stories that echoed the Bible, like a great flood and a hero who sounded a lot like Noah. The Anunnaki were suddenly back in the spotlight, but as mythological figures, not aliens. That changed in the 20th century when the world got UFO fever. By the 1970s, a guy named Zecharia Sitchin shook things up with his book, The 12th Planet. Sitchin, who claimed expertise in ancient languages, said the Sumerian tablets weren't myths. They were straight-up history of alien visitors. His pitch: the Anunnaki were extraterrestrials from a planet called Nibiru, which swings through our solar system every 3,600 years. They came to Earth 500,000 years ago to mine gold to save their planet's atmosphere. When the mining got tough, they spliced their DNA with early hominids to create humans as a slave race. Wild, right? Sitchin's translations of Sumerian texts were his evidence, but scholars weren't buying it. They said he twisted words. Sky meant divine realm to Sumerians, not spaceship. Still, his books flew off shelves. The 70s were perfect for it. Post-Watergate distrust, UFO sightings, and a hunger for big answers. Sitchin's Anunnaki became a cultural spark, blending archaeology with sci-fi in a way that felt electric. Sitchin didn't invent the ancient aliens idea, though. He was riffing on earlier writers like Erich von Däniken, whose 1968 book Chariots of the Gods argued that pyramids and other ancient wonders were built with extraterrestrial help. Sitchin just gave it a Sumerian flavor, rooting his story in specific texts and a detailed timeline. His Anunnaki caught fire, popping up in TV shows, movies, and even comics. By the 2000s, the History Channel's Ancient Alien series turned the theory into a cultural juggernaut, claiming the Anunnaki were behind everything from Stonehenge to human evolution. The show's host, Giorgio Tsoukalos, with his iconic wild hair, became a meme for his passionate alien takes. But critics weren't impressed. They pointed out the lack of evidence. No alien tools, no genetic proof, just reinterpreted myths. Some called the theory problematic, saying it steals credit from ancient cultures by handing their achievements to aliens. Despite the pushback, the Anunnaki's popularity soared, thanks to the internet, where forums and early YouTube channels pored over Sumerian texts for hidden extraterrestrial secrets. As the Anunnaki myth grew, it started to splinter into new directions. By the 2010s, conspiracy theorists were tying them to everything from government cover-ups to secret societies like the Illuminati. Some warned that Nibiru was barreling toward Earth, sparking doomsday panics that fizzled when the predicted dates passed. Others painted the Anunnaki as humanity's saviors, especially Enki, who was cast as a rebel god fighting his harsher brother, Enlil, to protect humans. These ideas found a home in New Age communities, where people blended Sumerian myths with spirituality and personal growth. Books like the Anunnaki Chronicles and podcasts like the Anunnaki Connection kept the buzz alive, mixing ancient texts with modern mysticism. Social media, especially TikTok, gave the Anunnaki a fresh boost. Creators posted short videos linking them to human origins or even African oral traditions, showing how the myth crosses cultures. A recent TikTok from a historian tied the Anunnaki to Dogon myths in Mali, hinting at shared stories across ancient worlds. But science stays skeptical. Geneticists find no alien DNA in humans, and astronomers say Nibiru's a no-show. No telescope has ever seen it. Yet the Anunnaki's hold on our imagination doesn't quit, proving a great story can outshine cold facts. Let's dig deeper into why the Anunnaki story sticks. It's not just about aliens, it's about us. The idea that we were created by advanced beings taps into big questions. Where do we come from? Why are we here? Sumerian myths gave their answers, and Sitchin's version updates them for a space-age crowd. The Anunnaki also reflect our hopes and fears. In the 70s, they were tied to distrust in institutions, governments hiding alien secrets. Today, they're often cast as guides for a spiritually hungry world, with Enki as a kind of cosmic mentor. The myth's flexibility is its strength. It's been remixed by everyone from conspiracy buffs to sci-fi writers to spiritual gurus. Take the 2025 buzz around a fictional Anunnaki movie teased on X. It's not real, but fans are already hyping it. The Anunnaki even show up in games like Assassin's Creed, where they're ancient super beings. This constant reinvention keeps them relevant, turning a 4,000-year-old myth into a modern obsession. What's the legacy of the Anunnaki today? They're a cultural phenomenon, a bridge between ancient storytelling and our sci-fi dreams. On one side, the alien theory is a fun what-if. Maybe our history's wilder than we think. It sparked art, books, and films that push us to imagine beyond the stars. On the other side, it's a call to stay sharp. The Sumerians didn't need aliens to build their world. They invented writing, math, and cities with raw human smarts. The Anunnaki saga reminds us to dig into primary sources, like those cuneiform tablets, while keeping a skeptical eye on bold claims like Sitchin's. It shows how stories evolve, From ancient scribes to TikTok creators, mirroring what we fear, hope for, and dream about. Whether you see the Anunnaki as gods, aliens, or symbols, their story's real power is in how it makes us wrestle with our place in the universe. That's the true gold they left behind. Not for spaceships, but for the stories we tell to make sense of who we are and where we're going.